When should you start talking to your children about consent? Let's talk about it today on the Prude's Guide to Intimacy.
Right there.
Intimacy.
Yeah.
What's up, people? Welcome back.
Do it through a text message. You can do it through an email. And
what is consent even?
Ready to go. Okay. Hey. Okay. Hey.
Welcome back to the Prude's Guide to Intimacy. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Amanda. This is the last week of April and the last week of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. All of this month, we have been going on with the theme I Ask, which is all about consent. And today, we're going to talk about teaching consent to children. So one of the things that I always tell people when I do the talk about sexual assault awareness is how important it is to start at a young age when discussing consent and what that looks like. And a lot of people sometimes look at me like, what? But you have to remember that the conversation around consent doesn't always have to center around sex. Consent is really all about teaching people boundaries. So when you're talking to children, that's as simple as letting them know they just can't go up hugging everybody. We know how children love to hug on everybody, but that's an easy way to teach them about consent. You have to ask people, can I hug you? You have to ask people if you can play with their toys. And if somebody tells a child no, they should know that that is okay. So when you are having the conversation about consent with your children, you want to be open and honest about what consent is and what that looks like. And of course, depending on their age, that conversation may look a little different. So when we're talking about school-age children, maybe I would say like 2 to 6-ish, 7-ish, the conversation would definitely be different than when you're talking to your middle school or high school age children. So the younger they are, it's all about just teaching about boundaries and letting them know what boundaries are early. And of course, as they get up into middle school and high school, the conversation about consent then kind of veers off into a sexual realm. But the younger they are, that's a great time when you are talking about consent to teach them about good touch, bad touch. And good touch, bad touch just lets them know that nobody should be touching them in their breast, vulva, or penis area, or anywhere on their body that they don't want them to touch them in. So they should be able to identify these places so that when they come and talk to you, or if something does happen to them, they'll be able to clearly tell somebody what has been going on. And that's another reason we want to have an honest and open conversation so that our children feel comfortable coming to us about these situations. If they know that, okay, mom has taught me about good touch, bad touch. Dad talked to me about consent and what that looks like for me to give consent and for me to get consent for somebody else. And this happened to me, and I feel like I should be able to talk to them about that. When you have these open and honest conversations, your kids just feel more comfortable bringing these types of things to you. So as a parent, you're also your child's model. So you should be able to model consent for your child. And I know, some of y'all don't like closed doors in your houses and everything like that, but bear with me for this example. If your child has their door closed, one easy way to model consent is by knocking on their door and asking if you can come in. I know some of y'all gonna go in anyway because you're parents, but just giving them the opportunity to say yes or no, because sometimes, as we know, kids have pretty hard lives too. Things go on with them, and just so you can say, hey, can I come in and talk to you? Or is there something that you would like to talk about right now? Those are very easy ways to model consent. Also, we have little kids, not me, but those of y'all who have little kids. And people always ask them, oh, can I have a hug? Can I get a hug? And, sometimes kids are like, no, I'm good, right? Instead of saying, oh, go hug your auntie, go hug your grandma. Show them that it's okay to say no. It teaches them early that it's their body, and they can decide who touches it and who doesn't. So those are great ways to model consent. And it's time for our last not so fun fact in this series. So our not so fun facts for today are: 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys are sexually abused before the age of 18. And 30%, not 30, 34% of people who are sexually abused as a child are sexually abused by a family member. So I hope the information from this series on sexual assault awareness has been helpful to you. If you have any questions or concerns, you can leave your comments below. Please let me know what you liked about this series and even what you didn't like. And if you need any more resources, they are in the description. And I will see you in June on the Prue's Guide to Intimacy. We are taking a break in May. I thank y'all for your support so far, and see you when we come back.